Okay, we got some now. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of MetsXMFanZone Live Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Gennaro. We're here to give you guys all of your latest live streams, news feeds, and much more. Also, make sure that you comment in the comment section down below on all major platforms, so that way you guys can chat with us, talk with us. Are we still having no sound? I think we're good on sound now. That way you guys can check out on all of our platforms. We are live on Facebook. We're live on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Also, after when we go live, you guys can listen to all of our shows on Spotify, Iheart Radio, Amazon Music, and also on Apple Podcasts. We're on all major platforms. Today we got a really good lineup for you guys. We're going to be talking about the Mets Hall of Fame, which we've seen that the Mets got a couple of new inductees for the 2023 season. Then we're gonna talk about on the Tommy Pham agreement, which the New York Mets did pick up, and then we got Thomas Nido. Thomas Nido re-signed with the New York Mets, and we're gonna talk a little on that, and then. Sad to learn, and here on the MetsXMFanZone family, we're sad to announce that Frank Thomas, original New York Met in the 1956 Mets, which the Mets they weren't around just yet, but Frank Thomas has just recently passed away at the age of 93. We're sad to learn about Frank Thomas. We're also going to show you guys some footage, live footage right here on our show on the Hall of Fame. The latest has been, I'll tell you exactly the latest. So the latest is Gary Cohen. So we got Gary Cohen going into the Hall of Fame. Sorry, guys. So I guess we're still having some issues? Okay, no. Okay, we're good. The latest on the Hall of Fame will be Hojo, which is Howard Johnson, the 1986 all-time player, manager. Howard Johnson is getting inducted into the Hall of Fame for the 2023 Mets. Then we got the well-known sports analysis SNY crew guy, Gary Cohen. Then we have the radio and himself, put it in the books guy. We got Howie Rose. So we got the three latest members in the Mets Hall of Fame. And plus Al Leiter. Sorry, I forgot Al Leiter. So it's Howard Johnson, Al Leiter, Gary Cohen, and Howie Rose getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. I will be showing some footage on them, and plus we're going to finally start showing some footage on our live stream, so that way you guys can see, and plus you guys can hear it when we go live too. If you guys are listening to our shows, if you guys are listening to us on Podbeam too, you guys can listen to us on Podbeam, because we do go live on Podbeam on the weekends. We go live on the weekends at 8 a.m. So I know I had people that asked me, when do I go live on the weekends? So I do go live at 8 a.m. on the weekends, but we are planning on moving that time frame to 10. So that way it's just, better for people that want to listen to me live on a later time slot. So 10 a.m., we're going to go live on Saturday and Sunday. Throughout the week, you guys can listen to me at the 8 o'clock hour. It just happened to be that we decided to go a little earlier on the show. So tomorrow, starting as of tomorrow, we'll be going back at the 8 o'clock hour. So make sure that you guys come in, chat with us. We're going to be opening up the phone lines tomorrow. So my crew, my people the people that I was talking with, we would like to open up the phone lines tomorrow at 8. Apparently, I forgot my pen. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's get into the Mets news. So obviously, of course, we've been hearing news for the last 2 days about Tommy Pham. Now, I did a whole video on this. If you're watching me live on YouTube, I mean, I I explained, how Tommy Pham is a pretty good suitable for the New York Mets. Why I say that? Not only is he just a fourth outfield, this guy can really play defense. And what I've seen in footage of Tommy Pham, there might be people that don't like him and don't like on what he did when he was with the other teams, slapping the player, yelling at the players and stuff like that. But we could go to say that he is a very good player. He's a no-nonsense player. He doesn't like when players not hustle. We get that. That's the type of player that every player should be. Hustle. Make sure that you're hustling down the line. If you're going to go and reach for the ball, make sure that you try to at your very best. So, I like a player that's a little bit rough on the exterior, and you need a player like that. You need a player to go into that clubhouse and rowdy it up. Yes, Francisco Lindor might be that guy to do so, but you want a guy that's just gonna just rowdy that team up just quite a bit. So, and I think that, Tommy Pham might be that energy boost to have into that clubhouse. So, I think that's a really good move. And plus, the Mets signed him to a 1 year, $6 million, and to a $2 million, they gave him like a $2 million extensive. So, that way, It's basically like a secured thing. So if the Mets want to do a second year on him, they can do a second year if they want to do that with Tommy Pham. I don't see the Mets really doing so, but that could be a move that they might want to do. So I don't see that happening. But let's see the process. But you know what? I look at it this way. I think the Mets are going to get rid of Darren Ruff. And why I say Darren Ruff? Because first of all, Darren Ruff didn't have a good season coming to the Mets. And he didn't even have a good season when he was with the other team that he was with. So, it goes to show on how bad how bad he was. And I could go on and talk about, Daniel Vogelbach. I think Daniel Vogelbach wasn't even that good either. So, with that being said, if you got two guys you really want to get rid of going towards the All-Star break, I would get rid of those two. But we got to remember one thing. If Daniel Vogelbach doesn't play and he doesn't show any production, then the Mets should trade him at the trade deadline and maybe get some value out of him. But he needs to start playing good to get some value out of him anyway. So could the Mets make a move during the trade deadline to get somebody, which I think, in my honest opinion, they're probably going to go with Ohtani if anything. If the Mets are making a stretch run, Ohtani's going to be here at the trade deadline and then maybe sign him during the offseason, which I think the Mets are going to possibly do in the long run. So we'll get to see what happens. But anyway, let's stop the show. And we want to thank SB Sports Athletics for sponsoring here on our show today. If you guys love our shows, please always tweet, like, and subscribe. Give us your comments in the comment section down below. I'm willing to answer any one of your questions. Each time we change segments, we will be answering 2 questions on all of our social media platforms. We're going to start with Facebook, then we'll go with Instagram, then we'll go with Twitter, and then we will go with YouTube. YouTube will always be our last where we'll answer any comments in the comment sections down below. And remember, also in our show details, all the links are in our show details. So if you want to subscribe to any one of them, just click the links in our show details, so that way you can stay up to date. So like if argument's sake, we're not live on Facebook and we're live on YouTube, you guys can go onto our YouTube channel. So again, that's for you guys if you guys would like to check that out. And plus, we want to thank SB Sports Athletics for sponsoring in our show. They have all the Mets merchandising. They make all the merchandising for the Mets, and they do a really nice job. Everything you see behind me is on our website by going to MetsXMFanZone.com. we are going to be, and we have, this is the latest product right here. Right over here, right on my left-hand corner. It is a tie-dye New York Mets t-shirt. We have these in all the way up to 2X. So if you guys would like to purchase one of these, you guys could go onto our website by going to MetsXMFanZone.com/shop. And if you use the promo code MetsXMFan, you get 25% off on your first purchase. So let's go ahead and get back to our show. So we were talking about Tommy Pham, and we were talking about what the trade deadline will look like and what have you. So if the Mets really wanted to do a trade, I mean, Ohtani would be your best bet. I mean, and there are other guys out there also too. And if I was the New York Mets, if I wanted to make a move, I would really go with Mike Trout. And why I would say with Mike Trout is because Mike Trout is probably one of the best hitters in the game, probably right next to Ohtani. And I think Ohtani is a very good player. But, you know, you get to see out of him, he is a pitcher and he's an outfielder. So you kill two birds with one stone with Ohtani. You can have him play outfield, and then you could have him, you know, pitch on a game if you need him to pitch. So I mean, that's great to have his, you know, flexibility in that aspect. So I think that, you know, going into the season, and if the Mets really wanted to try to do something like that, I think the Mets could possibly get Ohtani at the trade deadline. So that could be a possibility for the New York Mets, which I know, talking with the organization, and it was funny because yesterday I was talking with the organization and I said, so what's the deal on Ohtani? Do we have any word? Could you guys possibly be maybe getting him at the trade deadline? Could it be signing for next year? And we are hearing on the floor that it can be a possibility that the Mets could end up getting him. And I feel that Steve's first top priority is getting a really good, valuable bat out of maybe Mark McKenna. You know, it could very well be when Marte goes. So, you know, the Mets need that flexibility. And then they know they could get that flexibility with Marte. But now McKenna is kind of like that odd man out. So could the Mets ship Ohtani to left field? Could they sign him, keep Marte? Let's see on how Marte's value is in 2023 before we even go, you know, to that other, talk, to be honest, because I think here we know Ohtani. We know Ohtani puts up the numbers. He puts way over 25 home runs a season, way over 80 RBIs a season. So I think that, you know, going into the season head on, let's see what the Mets do before, if the Mets have that good stretch towards the trade deadline. If they're looking really, really good, Ohtani's going to be a New York Met. But if the Mets are, you know, just kind of like iffy, they're playing good, but they're still, you know, they need that piece. Probably also that would maybe be, you know, a stepping stone if the Mets are trying to do something like that. So I think that, you know, going forward into the season, into the progress, what the Mets are capable of doing, which we all know that Steve Cohen has a big checkbook, we could see Ohtani being signed at the end of the year if everything goes well. But if everything doesn't go well, then you're going to see Ohtani here a lot sooner. So that being said, hopefully we get to hear some news on that. Okay, so the New York Mets made a move yesterday, which the Mets signed Tommy Pham to an agree of a 1-year, $6 million deal with the New York Mets. Now, was that a good move? Yes. Why I say that's a good move? Because, you know, he has that flexibility. He has flexibility in where the Mets could possibly platoon him all over around the outfield. He is an outfielder, and I think he's a very good outfielder. So I seen his numbers. He hit 17 home runs last year. He had 68 RBIs last year. So could he make a good fit here? 110%. But could the Mets get a better player like an Ohtani? Hey, if you could do that, even better. The Mets could do that. But the Mets did agree to signing Tommy Pham to a 1-year, $6 million with the New York Mets. So let's now. All right, so going into our third story, we got Thomas, and then the Mets did do it, re-signed with Thomas Nido, signed him to a $2 million deal. What's my reactions on that? Well, I'll look at it this way. Thomas Nido played very good at the second half of last season. Why I say that was because he did play good. He did play better. He started playing better. You know what I started noticing when the Mets started getting a real legit hitting coach? That this team started hitting a lot better than they did. You know, the Mets went veteran. They really did go veteran with their staff, 100%. You know, having Hefner as your pitching coach, I loved what Hefner did last year. He didn't take guys out so often. He was able to platoon them when he needed to. He was able to work on the matchups, which I really liked. I liked the left-handing going against the right-hander. But he was very different. So I think that was a really good move going into last year. Absolutely what I loved about that. And, you know, and he's a friend. So I kind of, you know, I'm a little biased. So I do believe that that the hitting coach really did impact a lot of the hitters. Thomas Nido was one of them, and I think Thomas Nido definitely deserved that 2-year deal. Hopefully he starts playing better like he is, like towards the end of last season, and he started playing really good. And you know, going into his stats here, which I saw in the last 80 games of the season, he went ERA of 2.56. He had 36 RBIs and had only 2 home runs. Wasn't terrible. So I think that, you know, that wasn't bad for Thomas Nido in the second half of the season. So it was definitely well worth in re-signing him. I like it. But you know what? You're going to see Alvarez. So Alvarez will definitely be your guy, be your starter. But I think here is Alvarez is probably going to flip-flop days with Thomas Nido. So going into the 23 season. So I think that's going to be really good for Met fans. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's take some questions. So I'm going to start with Facebook first. All right, says and it's good to be back on the fan zone. Okay. Is it time to move on and let Daniel Ruff and either try to trade him of a free agent? I did say that before. I said, you know, I think Darren Ruff and Daniel Vogelbach, which he also wrote the same thing too. Daniel Vogelbach and Darren Ruff are 2 guys that the Mets shouldn't have. I feel that, you know, they will lack offense, and they will definitely lack defense. You're more than likely not going to see neither one. I think you're probably going to see Daniel Vogelbach play more than Darren Ruff. But Darren Ruff was terrible for the New York Mets. He did produce. He couldn't hit. He was horrible out in the outfield. So, I mean, can we have a step greater? Which I feel that, you know, sign him Tommy Pham, more than likely he's going to go bye-bye. So I don't see him staying here longer than he did. So we have another question. Another question is what games what games so the games I'm going to next year, I'm going to all the Saturday games, and I'll be there. So all the home Saturday games and all the home Friday games. Somebody asked me, what games will you be there for? So I will be Saturday games and Friday games. I have the package for both of those, so you guys will be able to see me. If you guys are at the stadium or anything like that, I'll be watching the game. All right, so let's go into our next story. So we have Hojo. So we got Howard Johnson, Al Leiter, Gary Cohen, and Howie Rose getting inducted into the Mets Hall of Fame in 2023. I would love to be able to show you guys the news conference. So we're going to go right ahead and hear Howard Johnson, Al Leiter, Howie Rose, and Gary Cohen for the inductee into the Mets 2003 Hall of Fame. So you guys want to know exactly what's going on with the Keith Hernandez contract with the SNY crew. So again, sorry for the no audio. I don't know why I keep having audio issues. So here's the deal on the Keith Hernandez sign. So what we are hearing as of right now, that Keith Hernandez might not re-sign with the SNY crew. We don't know just yet. So I will probably keep you guys updated live on our show. So that way I'll keep you guys informed on if when Keith will resign. We know that he's not resurfacing any contract right now. I guess he's been home and not really doing anything, but I do know he's on the political spectrum. So hopefully we get to hear something in regards to that. So we don't know just yet. So hopefully we'll hear something on the Keith Hernandez move to re-sign with the SNY crew. But I'll keep you guys posted in that. Oh yeah, no problem, Ed. No problems. All right. So we also have for you guys too tonight. So a lot of people have also been asking me too, what's the deal with Billy Epler? Is he planning on signing guys? Are the Mets done here in this aspect? Are they planning on looking for other players? So as of right now, I did talk with Billy Epler earlier this morning, and that the Mets are still looking to pursuing and helping with the bullpen. I don't know where they're really going to go in positions and who they're going to probably put into the bullpen. But we do know that the Mets are looking at tons of other players. So hopefully we get to hear other players coming in real soon, but we do know as of right now there's nothing in regards to hearing anything in regards to anybody being re-signed as of right now. And I do apologize for the lack of our audio. Don't know why we keep having audio cutouts, but in our next live stream, we'll make sure that all the audio cutouts get fixed. We won't be uploading this broadcast tonight, though. All right, so going into our next story here, we got Mets agreed to terms with trio of top international prospects. It says here that the New York Mets are excited to learn that the class of international prospects could go down as one of the most athletic groups in recent history. The club has announced on Monday that it had agreed to terms with 27 players, including catcher Davison Gutierrez, the number 27 ranked prospect on the top 50 international list. They also agreed to deal with outfielder Anthony Bassett, who ranked number 29, and number 43, Christopher Larsis. Signing in Tractor says the New York club has agreed with left-handed pitcher Davio Hugo, which he's from Cuba, and center fielder Herberto Racon, Dominican Republic, left-hander pitcher Wilmer Lugo, which is from Venezuela, outfielder Andres Asirio, I'm probably saying his last name wrong, Dominican Republic, and shortstop Kivar Garcia from Venezuela. The Mets have signed on a basic of $5 million to all these 27 international players. So the whole agreement was $5 million. Okay, hopefully we get to see what these guys have in store. I know Gutierrez is actually is pretty good from what I was told. I heard about that guy Lopez. I heard he's pretty good. Lockett, if I'm probably saying his name right. He's a shortstop, but you're more than likely not going to see him. The Mets are probably going to, put him on a shelf somewhere, but I hear he's actually really good. And then we're going to go into the original New York Mets. Frank Thomas passed away at the age of 93. Frank Thomas, a slugging star, which he was in the 1962 Mets. He was a franchise, one of the best franchisers, the only franchiser that has been still alive. Passed away on Monday morning in Pittsburgh. He was 93 years old. The Mets did put a memorable inauguration for him. And the Mets are going to probably do something for him during midseason. So we don't know just yet on that. But I'll keep you guys posted and updated when we hear something for Frank Thomas with the New York Mets. But we are sad to learn that Frank Thomas passed away at the age of 93. So we're going to open up. We're going to go and open up the questions. If you guys have any questions for me, please feel free to comment in the comment section down below. That's all the stories for tonight that I have for you guys. But I will definitely take some of your questions on all social media platforms. So let's open up the social media and let's talk Mets. So we have a question here from Eddie. It says, okay. Okay, keep me posted on the broadcast. All right, so then we'll go. Then you know what? Then we'll go with Twitter. Okay, so we have a Twitter comment, and she wants to know. This is a woman, I guess. I'm not gonna. So what I'm gonna do is on the broadcast, I'm not gonna announce people's usernames. So apparently, people didn't like that I was announcing usernames on the channel. I don't know why. It doesn't make a difference, but I'll respect people's privacy. This user is a woman, and she wants to know. So, what is your prediction on Francisco Lindor going in 2023? You think he's going to have a better year like he had in 2022? What I think Francisco Lindor is going to have a very good season. I'm going to go and do a whole show tomorrow for top to bottom of our lineup. I'll give you guys my predictions. I'll give you guys on who I think is going to stand out the most. I do think Francisco Lindor is going to have a very good season. Where I would say in regards to numbers, I would probably go with 350. I would say at 109 RBIs. I think he's going to have more steals this year because of the ship. The ship is completely gone now. So I think, with the 23 season, you're going to see him steal very often. Probably would say maybe 10 steals at max. I think with that, he's going to have at best maybe 30 RBI. 30 home runs or more, and that's gonna be the same with Pete Alonso too. So I think that's what you're gonna see. You're gonna see that flexibility in regards to with Francisco Lindor, and definitely with Pete Alonso. I think Pete Alonso is your number two on this club because obviously he's a power machine, absolutely a powerful hitter. He impacts the lineup, and you need to have that one guy that could really impact your lineup and really be there right there. So I think that going forward, you're definitely going to see Pete Alonso being your top guy. Francisco Lindor definitely going to be your guy too right there. But I think that going into the 23 season, you're going to see a lot of power hitters. We'll know on who's really that good. And I think, that lineup is a very good lineup. But we need to keep guys healthy. That's the most important. Keeping these guys healthy. Once you keep them healthy, I think you're going to have a very good season going into the 23 season. All right, so let's go with a Twitter question, and then we will go live. Then we will say goodnight to everybody. So, okay, so question here is: within the Mets franchise, who do you feel that stands out the most in regards to hitters? I would like to know your thoughts on this. So, who I really think that stands out of all players in Mets history, honestly, you guys know who I'm going to go with, Mike Piazza. Mike Piazza was the best catcher in Mets history. Not only that, but he has been a guy that you'll never see duplicate in the league ever again. He had power when you needed him to have power. I think Mike Piazza is your Hall of Famer by far. Obviously, he is inducted in the Mets Hall of Fame and also in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. So I think, Mike Piazza is definitely going to be your guy going. Just you got to love him. He's just that guy, and I think that having the record that he had a very good season. So, I mean, kudos to Mike Piazza because he really was a great player of all time. So, one of my favorite New York Mets. So, all right. I think that's all the questions for tonight. I want to thank you guys for watching here in our show. We have been giving you guys all of your latest live streams. We are finally back on Facebook. So, if you guys want to watch us and stay tuned with us, stay tuned with us on live on all of your social media platforms by going to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Also, you guys can listen to our broadcast right after our shows, always by going to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Iheart Radio, and Amazon Music. We will not be uploading this show tonight because it is our first show back right here on Facebook. So it won't be uploaded on all other platforms, but it'll only be uploaded on YouTube. So if you guys would like to watch the show, please feel free to do so by going to our YouTube fan page. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please, for everybody, stay healthy, be well, and we'll see you guys in spring training. I will be down in spring training February 18th. I'll be doing a live broadcast down there, and if you guys would like to chat with me, the next show we will be opening up the phone call. So if you guys would like to do a live video with me, or if you guys would like to call in, I will have the number on the screen, on the bottom of your screen, going into tomorrow's broadcast. We'll see you guys real soon. Good night, and let's go Mets.